I don't care if you only watch 30 seconds of it.
Yeah.
We can put this at the beginning of the
Put this
video.
at the beginning of the video.
Yeah. You need to go immediately and go to the comments and just write anything. Write your Shakespearean fan fiction. Okay?
Copy and paste the entire B movie script and leave it in the comments below.
Copy and paste the entire transcript from this video and put it in the description.
Just give us some hate comments. Give us something to work with. We need it.
Yeah, do the little lyric video. Do that for us for the whole video.
No, I
for
don't want
all
just spam.
Hour and a half long of this shit.
We don't want that kind of engagement. We want constructive criticism. Give us something. What do you hate about this? What don't you like about the
I don't want criticism.
editing?
I want glazing. I want you to go in the comments and be like, you guys are so entertaining.
No.
This video changed my life. I divorced my wife because of this video.
Tell them that I'm so annoying and I always cut off Anderson in the meanest way. Do it.
Drown me in a bathtub. I don't care.
Light him on fire.
Light me on fire. Strangle me. Oh no, I feel like this is gonna be in the documentary. I look massive.
I told you you would.
Yeah, well, I said you should adjust.
Told you should have lost a few pounds last week, but
Well, you said I told you should adjust the camera to make yourself look a little bit better.
because I'm not moving the ankles and it's gonna be
Just
confusing.
shift it a little bit.
No, thank you.
Welcome back to the Underlings podcast. I'm Anderson.
I'm Sloan. Today we got all the cozy vibes. What was stop for? Can't stop.
I don't know.
Want to start over?
Nope. We're gonna keep the ball rolling. All right. So today she's gonna share some nice Reddit stories, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna talk about Dune.
Not at the same time though.
At the exact same time. Two different tracks.
3, 2,
Left ear's
1.
Dune, right ear's
Go.
Sloan. All right. So, I liked Dune Part 2. I liked
Hang
the
on,
first
let's
one.
just quickly start by saying you went to see Dune.
Yes. Saturday evening at 7 p.m., me and 2 other people went to go see Dune at a movie theater.
A movie theater?
And it was really good. I liked it. I think it is slightly better than the first one. And it was good. I would give Dune Part 2 approximately a 8 out of 10.
I think our gain's too high. I'm hearing way too much.
It's fine.
It's like ASMR in here. It's creeping me out. Can you lower your gain a little bit?
So yeah, guys, I actually did like Dune. I think Dune was a pretty good movie. And I'm kind of thinking about them as the same movie because it's Part 1 and Part 2, and they are very much dependent on each other. So I think if you watch them back to back, I think the overall experience is a really good one. I think together, it's probably somewhere like 9.5, maybe. Not 9.5, 8.5, maybe a 9 in total. But I would say Part 1 is about a 7.5, and Part 2 is about like an 8.5. But together, because it is a really good story overall, like the arc of the story, together, it's about a 9, I would say. So, all right.
A
well,
9
Reddit
is
stories.
crazy.
Yeah. Well, ready stories?
First I have to talk about Reese Teaser real quick because there were some updates and some things we fucked up, and I want to just like quickly give a redaction kind of thing. Not redaction. We missed a few key points. One I told him off camera, but Reese Teaser said that from our last video, go watch it. It was Who the Fuck Did I Marry?
I may have forgotten what she told me, so this is going to be new information for me too.
Mm-hmm. So, in our last one, we talked about a TikTok story about a woman named Reese Teaser on TikTok that did a series called Who the Fuck Did I Marry? What?
Who did she marry?
Legion. I forgot his real name. We're not going to dox him anyway. He's now on like a little tour.
W Legion.
He's on like a little tour of like TikTok Live. I always see him on TikTok Live with people trying to tear down Reese Teaser. And there's been like a lot of things about that. I don't really know much about it, but there is some shit about that. Anyway, we do know that I forgot to mention one of the biggest, craziest lies was that Risa says that she got a call from Legion's grandmother. I think it was his grandmother or his aunt. It was his aunt. His aunt that wasn't actually his aunt. I forgot to tell you that wasn't actually his aunt. That was their mom's friend. That they were not related, and the other siblings were like, you shouldn't listen to her either. She's crazy too. But she was still close with Legion, and she was the aunt. She called Risa and said, "Where's your baby?" And Risa had to be like, "Oh, my baby, I miscarried. I did not birth a child, actually." And she was like, "What? Legion's been telling me he was gonna like let me visit. I've been sending gifts, and I thought you had a baby." And he said he got full custody in the divorce. And she was just like, "Yeah, there was no baby." So that was something. And then we have found out from Legion's brother. Risa talked to him recently, and he told everyone that he knows that Legion was diagnosed with schizophrenia and I think bipolar. I can't remember. It was schizophrenia and something else. Younger.
We stand people with schizophrenia.
And like a long time ago, and his parents like went into debt trying to help Legion get the professional mental help he needed. He refused the treatment, and he's kind of ended up now, and they're both dead. So he doesn't have support besides his siblings who kind of cut him off because he won't get help. So we do know he has mental illness now, which I feel like adds some layers to the situation.
W Legion.
You don't have to get that close to them.
We stand Legion.
We do not stand Legion. Don't say that.
We stand Legion.
Oh yeah, by the way, we have some new mic ideas. We have 2 of these things. We don't have a way to hook them up yet. So
just don't talk directly into it now because
it's jerry-rigged.
I jacked it up a little bit.
It's jerry-rigged. Don't do that because we're going to hear the ambient noise.
You won't. It's fine.
Okay. We had to kind of jerry-rig this up so he doesn't have his. He has this weird little stand. But we're trying to avoid this noise because it's so awful and I hate editing and hearing that noise.
It's been pretty successful so far.
Yeah, we haven't heard, well, because we're not touching it.
You don't hear.
So hopefully this is going to work.
Noises anymore.
Okay. So yeah, so we just wanted to give a little recap of Risa Tisa, offer some more clarity to the situation, give a little Dune review. I did not see Dune, which is why I gave no input on whether I thought it was a 9 out of 10 because I don't know. We're going to get into the main topic of today, which is Reddit stories. So neither of us are Reddit users, really.
So I'm a Reddit mod, actually.
No.
I've been for about 10 and a half years, on and off. Never for pay, never for money, only for furthering the cause. And I love the platform. I don't like what they've been doing in the last few years with, like, censoring dangerous things or anything like that. Like, the fact that I can't go on Reddit and, like, tell people.
Hurry up, we're not doing more of these bits. It's just going to take up time.
The fact that I can't go on Reddit and, like, tell.
Anyway, so neither of us are Reddit users is what I'm trying to say.
I occasionally use it.
Okay, but none of us, like, we are not experienced in the Reddit field.
No.
So as far as Reddit stories, we don't have, like, a mental archive.
My experience with Reddit is basically just looking up stuff, and if I can't find anything, I just put Reddit on the end of it to see if anyone's talked about it before.
Like the average Joe.
Yeah.
But we don't know anything about these, like, different Reddit forums. So only thing I know is I watch videos about people reading Reddit stories. So that's the only thing I know. So I literally just Googled best Am I the Asshole posts. So we're going to do a few. None of them sound interesting.
And the gist of all of them will most likely be you are the asshole.
Maybe.
Or maybe not.
Maybe not.
Or maybe not.
So I have not proofread any of these. That's why I have a few in case they end up being really bad and we have to just cancel them and start over.
Heard.
So I've got a bunch. I don't know if any of them are going to be any good. I kind of put them in order of, like, what maybe sounds interesting.
Do you see my AIDS cut that I have on my hand?
What's that from?
I have no idea. I think Boo hurt me.
Boo would never.
This looks like a Boo scratch.
No, it doesn't.
Like you're hiding up your wounds with your fucking.
Boo's never scratched. I fell into a wall, actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
You grabbed a cactus. I forgot.
Okay, are we ready? So we've got about 10 minutes before we're going to have to stop and start a new one. So.
Okay. All right.
So the first Reddit story on Am I the Asshole is, am I the asshole for speaking Italian to my girlfriend's rude Italian-American family and embarrassing them?
Let's see.
What's our first impressions of this?
Speaking
Italian to my girlfriend's rude Italian-American family.
I'm gonna make a little guess.
Okay.
I think that they were talking to her in Italian, like shit talking behind her back, and they thought that she wasn't gonna.
So she learned it?
Yeah, and so wait, is it she? Or is it
Well,
girlfriend or
oh,
boyfriend?
girlfriend. So maybe
Okay,
I don't
so
know.
he probably.
We'll find out. But
So the boyfriend, I don't know if it's boyfriend. The person.
it
The
doesn't
other
have like, you know,
person
in the
in the
beginning where it's
relationship.
like me, 21 female. It doesn't have that,
None
so
of
we
that.
might not know.
Okay, let's just stick with boyfriend, just because that's what I'm gonna say.
I see the word beard, so I'm assuming
Yeah, let's say
boyfriend.
boyfriend. Okay, so
Maybe.
I think the boyfriend was being shit talked behind his back,
Mm-hmm.
and so I think that they didn't realize that, like the old like Spanish trope of like someone talking shit behind your back in like
Mm-hmm.
Spanish, and then knowing Spanish and being like, haha, I'm not a normal stupid American. I know Spanish,
Yeah.
and you can't make fun of me. Okay,
Yeah, I don't know.
let's read this story, or let's have you
But
narrate this story for me.
right off the bat, I'm gonna say probably not the asshole
Yeah,
for
probably not.
speaking into
But
an
who
Italian.
knows? He
We'll
could
find
be
out.
like racist. I don't know.
So there's an editor's note, but I think we're gonna skip that. Okay.
I filled this bottle up with vodka.
No. Okay. Let's start. So
Jesus Christ, this is our worst episode
okay,
yet.
it's his backstory. We say that every episode.
This is so bad.
Okay, so the backstory is, it says, due to my dad's job, we lived in Italy for 3 years when I was younger, so I speak Italian almost fluently. It's been a while, so I've lost most of it. Recently, I started dating a girl. She's great and I love her so much. I met her family a few nights ago for dinner. She warned me that the male side of our family is very big into being macho, into testing the boys the women date, and they're very big on taking pride in their Italian ancestry. We are a quarter Italian, so we know Italy.
I am a macho Italian.
Mm-hmm.
Like Ralph Macchio.
I think
Because
besides...
his last name is Macchio.
Okay. I think besides the grandfather, however, they were almost all born in Bergen County, New Jersey? I don't know if that's
So
right.
Americano.
But whatever, it's nice to take pride in one's heritage. Long story short, at dinner, they kept making jokes at my expense. I honestly would not call it bullying, just things about my height, beard, shaved head. They tried to make fun of my IT job too, but stopped once I told them my income. It was overall not a bad experience, but a not so pleasant one. Anyways, her older brother kept pushing things, giving me exceptional amounts of shit for playing lacrosse in high school. Apparently, it's a sport for prissy rich kids, and not manly like football or basketball.
It is.
You didn't play any sport, so.
Okay. You wouldn't catch me dead playing lacrosse.
He ended the rant by saying, "Hey, we're just a big Italian family. We're loud until we tell it how we see it. Ha ha ha." And all the family except my girlfriend laughed. So I, for the next minute, responded to everything they said in Italian. My girlfriend buried her head in shame. The grandfather laughed, and everyone else kept looking at each other confused, before telling me they didn't speak Italian. I replied, "Then don't use your Italian heritage as an excuse to behave poorly when you can't even speak the language."
So I was very wrong.
They got mad, but the grandfather told them I was right and to be quiet. My girlfriend isn't mad, just ashamed. I think the grandfather likes me, but word from my girlfriend's sister is that all the men are furious. They think I'm a smartass and disrespected them and their masculinity in an unforgivable way. So, am I the asshole?
No.
No.
Based grandpa.
Yeah.
We stay in the grandpa. Grandpa seems like a very normal person.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone else seems like an asshole. So, no.
This is such a boring one. Anyway, yeah.
Possibly.
Definitely not the asshole. Don't be an asshole to other people if you don't want them to give it to you back.
So I'm currently 0 out of 0 for
You
my
better.
prediction. Next story.
I thought it was going to be something like that,
Yeah.
too. I'm going to be honest. Okay, that was boring as shit. Okay.
Should we
Hopefully,
restart the camera?
they're all getting... They're very short, which I feel like is not a good thing. Okay. So this one is one that I've heard before. So I just found it on Google. And this is I think a re-upload of it. Am I the asshole for not allowing my parents to sleep in the same bed? First impressions.
Oh, so this is basically what I was saying.
Kind of. It's very similar to what you were saying.
Okay.
First impressions, what do you
First
think?
impressions, I don't care.
Well, that's the whole point. You're supposed to care. Make sure you're in frame. You're like so far to the side.
I could move more this way.
You don't have any right off the bat you think maybe asshole, maybe not?
It's kind of a toss-up on this one. If it's some bullshit, it's some bullshit. But if it's not, then I don't really care. Because if it's only like, oh, when I was a kid, my mom wouldn't let me sleep with my boyfriend, you're kind of the asshole because they're married and you weren't. And
We'll
like,
get there.
there's a lot of
Ready?
reasons. But yeah.
Okay. So let's start. I think you know where this is going, but there's no definitive answer on who's in the wrong. Also, for simplicity's sake, I'll be saying parents, but it's my mother and my stepfather. My mother and stepdad have been together since I was little. So, I'm a 25-year-old woman with 2 older siblings, both male. When we were growing up, we were never allowed to have girlfriends or boyfriends spend the night, which I felt was fair enough. When my brothers got to about 16, however, their girlfriends were allowed to spend the nights, but they had to sleep in a spare room. Again, fair. That made sense to me. Makes sense to me too. I was always somewhat of a tomboy, so as you can imagine, teen boys didn't show much interest in me romantically.
Also, if you let your son's girlfriend sleep over in the spare bedroom, you know damn well as soon as you go to sleep, they finna sneak out to go with their little thing. That's what's gonna happen. They finna sneak out, run down the hallway, get in that room. That's what's gonna happen.
Definitely.
There's no other reason why you would sleep over with your girlfriend. There just isn't.
Yeah, I don't see any reason for that.
Like maybe cuddling, but either way, they're gonna have to be in the same bed for that.
That around now. Don't
I don't
step
know.
on the stool. Okay, I was always somewhat of a tomboy, so as you can imagine, teen boys didn't show much interest in me romantically. I didn't get my first boyfriend until I was already 18. My parents wouldn't allow him to spend the night at all, despite us both being over the age of 18. I wouldn't have minded if my brothers had been held to that standard, but I felt as if they were favored over me. It isn't even because I disliked my boyfriend at the time. Everyone seemed to love him. That relationship didn't last more than 6-ish months, so I dropped it after a while. I got with my now fiancé when I was 22, and we've been engaged for a year. We're getting married in only a few months. Still, just like every other time before, my parents wouldn't allow him to spend the nights until a few months after we got engaged. After I brought it up to them, it wasn't a conflict, but they knew I was irritated and allowed him to start using the spare room. We moved in together not long after, so it didn't really matter. Now, I may be an asshole. My mother asked about the wedding planning, the first time she even contacted me since I moved. And I told her I still had a lot to sort out and I was getting through it, and she practically insisted on coming up to me and having a week of mother-daughter bonding time where she could help me with wedding planning. My fiancé isn't much of a social person and is happy to be the money bags behind the wedding decisions. He just likes to give his little opinions, and I'm sure to include them when he does. My parents arrived, and we spent the first day going out to dinner. I like to point out that the two aren't married and are... Okay. I'd like to point out the two aren't married and are steadfast that they won't be getting married again. Both of them divorced already, my stepdad twice. So, as the night was slowing down, they asked me to be shown to their room. I directed my mother to one guest room and my stepfather to another. We have a 3-bedroom and no kids yet, so we have the space. My mother said there was plenty of room in her room for both of them and instructed my stepdad to come in with her. I explained that, just like she told me, it was my house and I didn't want them sharing a bed in my house. I basically repeated word for word what she would tell me when I would complain about my brothers getting better treatment than me when it came to their partners. I told them that actually they were in the same position because neither of us were married. She tried saying that it was different because they had been together for almost 20 years. I told them it didn't matter because this is my house and my decision is final. Just like how my mother would shut down any discussions about it back then. I was sure to mention how my brothers were allowed their partners, but I wasn't, and she claimed I was making it up. They stayed the night and left home the next day, which I preferred because I was happy wedding planning on my own, and I haven't heard from them since. My grandmother has called me to tell me off for it though, so I'm wondering if I'm in the wrong. Am I the asshole? Edit. A lot of people are confused. At my mother's house, we were not allowed to sleep together ever in the same bed. Only months after we got engaged did my mother allow him to sleep in a spare room. Also, I said I don't mind the rules they have. It's their home, but it was the double standard for me. I had to wait until 25 to have my fiancé stay in the house. My brothers could have whoever they wanted from 16. We were engaged by the time they let him. I was no longer a child, and it's not like you've been holding on to some resentment for years after it stopped, as some misguided people claim. It was months ago it ended. Also, my intention was never to make them sleep the whole week separate. It was initially a now the power is in my hands. Do you see the error of your ways? If they did, we could have moved on and laughed about it, and I would have let them sleep in the same bed. Because they didn't and doubled down and started getting aggressive with me, claiming I was making things up, I stuck to it. I know I am being assholey, but am I the asshole in the situation? What do you think?
Probably not, but
Personally, I agree with the top comment. It says, "Are you petty as fuck?" Yes, but not the asshole.
Yeah, I agree. I think obviously there's differences with like their relationship, her parents' relationship was obviously more serious than theirs was, but the fact that there was a double standard
with the brothers, that's what would piss me off.
That's stupid. That makes me angry. But
if it was everyone had to wait till they were engaged or married, sure.
Yeah. But and then I would say give them some leeway. They've been married, or they've been together for 20 years. They've been living together for 20 years. That's where I'd be like, okay, maybe that's not really much of a double standard for her to be like, or maybe it would have been a double standard for her to be like, are we gonna like let them sleep in the same bed? Like, I don't know, but
because I don't think she was doing it to be like, you can't sleep in the same bed. I think she was just doing it to be like, look at how ridiculous you are.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. I think that's stupid. I
had to move it. You're so far out of frame.
Yeah, I think that's stupid, but what did the comments say? Let's react to some of the comments.
I don't think anyone's called her an asshole. Not the asshole. They aren't even engaged. They're just boyfriend and girlfriend. Maybe if they get married, you can revisit the issue.
Also, fuck the grandma for getting involved. That's annoying.
Right. That's some.
They always be doing that.
Yeah, that's some real shit. Not the asshole. This level of petty is epic. Not the asshole. OP tried reasoning with them for years, but was disrespectful,
disrespected.
But they said disrespectful of the rules while in their house, despite the sexism. Oh, fucking dyslexia. OP tried reasoning with them for years, but was respectful of their rules when in the house, despite the sexism. Mom just decided that she should be involved with all the wedding planning, with no actual invite from OP to do so or visit for a week. With one admittedly petty move, OP has reworked the power dynamic of the relationship. Mom now knows OP will be in charge of her own life. Not the asshole. Glad you called them out on it. It's definitely clear they had favorites. Your brothers, your stepdad's kids. Your house, your rules. They need to abide by it. If they ain't happy, have their own home. And then she said, no, my brothers are my whole brothers. Our parents started divorcing before I was born. So I guess stepdad stepped in when they were little.
I guess they all are older brothers.
I guess, yeah, her two brothers must be older. I think it says that. Yeah. Older siblings, both male. Okay. Well, yeah, I think it's petty, but I think it's funny and probably not the asshole. Okay, our next one
I couldn't imagine anyone genuinely getting upset about like that issue. Like, just suck it up for a week. It's not a big deal.
I might need.
Like, you can be resentful. That's fine. But the fact that she like said "fuck you" and left, I think that's stupid.
I should get those like blue light glasses. This one I think we might have some perspective on because we are children of divorce. This one is, am I the asshole for not changing my vacation so my kids can go to my ex's wedding?
Oh, I think I've heard this story.
I feel like maybe, but it sounded different when I was reading it. Personally, right off the bat, I'm going to go with yes.
Yeah.
You're going to make a vacation at the same time so your kids can go to their dad's wedding or can't go to their dad's wedding. Like, just change it.
Yeah.
Unless
it's last minute.
Right, let's see.
But even then, I would be like, it sucks, but I would just be like, okay, buddy, pay for me to change it. I would be like, hey, you made this kind of last minute. You didn't tell me in advance enough to be able to plan around. I've had this vacation planned for a year.
Right.
If you want our kids to come, then give me a little bit of that check.
Okay, well, let's find out. Little backstory: my ex and I separated 6 years ago. We have 3 children together: 16, 9, and 6. 6 is special needs, ADHD, ODD, and Asperger's. I left when my youngest was barely 2 months old. When we separated, I became a sole caregiver and financial support for my children. Over the last 6 years, Over the last 6 years, my ex has barely done anything. No support, no visits, and if there was, it was for 2 hours, maybe every 6 months. I recently went to court and now receive child support as of March this year. He recently got engaged, and when he calls my oldest to tell her about their engagement, my 16-year-old was not happy. He became completely irate and started screaming at her and making her cry. I handled that. They have met this woman and we will call her Kay. Wait, what? They have met this woman, we will call her Kay, once before, and she has 6 children. My ex told my 16-year-old that it doesn't matter if they liked Kay or not, it is his decision to do what he wants. Now the problem: for the last 6 years, we have gone to upstate New York Friday to Friday, the week of July 17th. He doesn't know this because, like I said, he's not involved. Now, of course, he wants me to change everything because they decided to set a date for July 15th. My question is, if you're planning something this big, wouldn't you call and ask your kids what their plans are for the summer before you set a date? Now, of course, I have his friends calling and texting me, calling me the asshole, because they only know what he tells them. As usual, I keep the kids away, and he pays child support for the last 6 years. Not true. Now, in all honesty, the decision is completely up to my oldest. If she wants to go, I will change the plans. My younger 2 children will not be going unless my oldest goes, because of him and his family have no idea how to handle my 6-year-old's special needs. I'm just so sick and tired of him putting my oldest in positions and trying to manipulate her feelings. What? I feel like these people cannot fucking write. Sorry. I'm so sick and tired of him putting my oldest in these positions and just trying to manipulate her feelings.
Manipulate her feelings?
And just trying to manipulate her into feeling guilty, like she's doing something wrong when she doesn't agree. I've made it clear that I will support her decision either way, but my ex and his family will not stop harassing me about it. So am I the asshole? Edit. This is between her and I will take the full blame when explaining to them why or why not they will be there. She knows and understands the full situation and is exactly why it is her decision. Also, I told my 16-year-old that I would keep the youngest home. I told my 16-year-old that I would keep the youngest home. My 16 said, if she goes, my youngest goes.
Wait. What are the ages again?
16, 9, and 6.
Okay. And they got divorced 6 years ago?
When the baby was 2 months old.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, and that's why he doesn't know anything about the special
I thought
needs.
it was 3, 6, and 16. I was going to be like, 3? No. Okay.
Now that I read it, not the asshole. If he's not involved at all, at this point, it's like,
but
it doesn't
also,
matter.
There is 0% chance that is 100% accurate.
Maybe.
Like,
but
obviously she's reading it from one angle.
Definitely. But if the 16-year-old is in control, that makes sense to me.
True. I agree.
Because it's going to be on her.
But also, why can't people act like adults? Like, if you are co-parenting in some way, which this person doesn't seem like they are, but if they were co-parenting in some way, then just suck it up and invite your ex-wife to the wedding. You have to be involved with her.
Well, that doesn't matter. It doesn't explicitly say she wouldn't be invited. It doesn't sound like she is.
No, my point is...
But that wouldn't change anything.
My point is, well, then it wouldn't... If no one knows how to take care of the youngest's special needs, well, then the youngest can be taken care of.
Yeah, I mean, the mom said she would keep the baby home if she needs to.
They're pretty young. 6 and 9, like, they're pretty young. So,
well, she said that she would keep the baby home if the 16-year-old didn't want to bring her. And so, like, the 16-year-old said, no, I'll take her.
True.
If I want to go, but she hasn't decided.
Well, I just think that's kind of stupid. When you have kids of that age.
Oh, my God. What now?
Not the asshole, but there obviously is...
Another side to this.
There's another side to this, but there's obviously just, like, a way to handle stuff like this. And it sounds like she's doing reasonably well. But maybe the only critique I would have is just not putting that pressure on the 16-year-old, because that seems like a lot of pressure. being like, well, you will decide if they all go to their dad's wedding. And if you don't want to take care of them, then you are the reason why they can't go. Seems a little bit unfair to me. But
Wait, what?
Because mom said,
But she said they can
if
keep the
you
kid
can't,
home.
but she said if you don't want to deal with it, if you don't want to go, then they won't go.
No, she said if you don't want
She's
the
saying
little kid to go, I can keep her home.
No, I'm saying it's your decision if anyone goes or not.
Yeah. It is a little bit unfair to put that on the kid.
That's what I'm saying.
But it also makes sense. Like, would you rather go on the vacation or do you want to go to your dad's wedding?
Exactly, but I mean, if it's a normal 9-year-old kid, right? He doesn't have special needs, or is he the one with special needs?
No, he does not. But maybe he doesn't care.
Well, just say if you want to go, you can go without your sister. There's no one there
Oh
that
yeah,
can take care of them.
maybe that was already offered. I don't know.
It wasn't. She's just like.
Oh yeah, she said she would blame it on her if the 9-year-old couldn't go. We didn't get to hear if the 9-year-old wanted to go. We have no idea.
True. All right.
Okay, this next
story.
one, it sounds ridiculous, and I don't know if it's as ridiculous as it is, but apparently this is like debated. Like there's a lot of comments on this, and it was deemed by the website "Everyone Sucks." So we'll see what actually is accurate. The title is "Am I the Asshole for being mad my boyfriend won't make noodles the way that I like?"
She's gonna have a really foul way of liking noodles.
Or she's one of those fucking annoying ass bitches. Sorry. That's like, I only like butter on my noodles. Don't put sauce on my fucking
Or
noodles.
she's going to be like,
you're not respecting me by changing it.
Or it's going to be like, I only like my noodles deep fried. Mm-hmm. He's going to be like, no.
Or he's going to be like, why can we not put anchovies in pasta? What the fuck?
Yeah.
And she's like, bro, just make them normal.
Or he's going to be like, why can't we boil them in vinegar? I've always boiled them in vinegar.
Okay.
Spicy
Let's
noodles.
Read.
All right.
Okay. Oh, that's the first word. Okay. Okay, this sounds dumb, but hear me out. I've always been a picky eater, especially when it comes to tomatoes. I didn't even read that before I said my first sentence.
Wait, who's the narrator of the story?
Must be girlfriend or...
Okay, girlfriend.
Unless it's boyfriend and boyfriend.
Okay.
The person who has a boyfriend that won't make the noodles the right way.
Okay.
I've always been a picky eater, especially when it comes to tomatoes. Ever since I was a kid, my dad would make my spaghetti different from the rest of the house. Bad one to pick.
So they said everyone in this story is an asshole? This is going to be a doozy. Okay.
I like having an essence of the sauce flavor on the noodles, but not the overpowering flavor having noodles bathed in sauce creates. So, here's where it gets a bit odd. My dad would separate my spaghetti from my family's after putting sauce on it, then rinse off the sauce in the sink at a strainer. I love noodles like this.
Wait, why don't you just, like, not put sauce on the noodles in the first place?
I don't know.
Because she likes the essence?
Listen, yes.
She likes the essence of it?
Says,
she likes the idea of it?
I love noodles like this as it adds a nice, subtle tomato vibe given to the mild spaghetti.
Just water down the spaghetti sauce and pour it over.
Or for like a little bit. Yeah. Some butter.
Maybe a little olive oil.
Yeah. My boyfriend, 26, has known about this since we first started dating. He always told me my food habits were cute. We have been dating for almost 3 years now and moved in together at the beginning of the pandemic.
He lied to you, bitch.
Moved in together at the beginning of the pandemic.
Oh, yep, it's one of those.
So we could be in lockdown together. Ever since we moved in together, he insisted on taking charge of cooking and all the cooking-related tasks, dishes, grocery shopping, etc. He assigned me the role of cleaning the bulk of the apartment. We split the other tasks pretty much 50-50 too. Everything was perfect, and he always seemed to be making noodles the way that I liked them when we had them. This wasn't until last week. Wait. It always seemed like he was making noodles the way that I liked them.
Also,
she didn't notice?
When you're talking about a pasta dish, it's called pasta, not noodles. Noodles are an ingredient in pasta.
Okay. So he always seemed like he was making noodles the way I liked them when we had them. This was until last week when we had spaghetti. We ate and everything was good, but afterwards he started teasing me, saying things like, "You really like your pasta with an essence of tomato." And, "How is your tomato essence, babe?" Always using finger quotes around the word essence. After a few comments...
What did he do?
After a few comments, I felt something was off and asked him if he'd done anything differently with tonight's noodles. than he usually does, and he just started laughing. When he finally stopped laughing, he told me the whole truth while smirking. He said, I didn't do anything different than I usually do. I have never been making it the way that you requested. Apparently, the entire time we've been living together, he's been skipping the pasta sauce on my noodles entirely. He claimed that if I didn't notice this for long, then it shouldn't matter, and he's making dinner in a way that is easier for him. I disagree entirely. I think the lying was a huge breach of trust, and so was the refusal to make dinner how I wanted. I've admittedly been acting passively aggressive to him since, but he thinks he did nothing wrong. Am I overreacting? Do I need to let it go? Am I the asshole?
Okay. Eye to eye. Eye to eye. If the person in this situation was a man and they were acting like this, everybody would be like, you're an abusive asshole. You're telling your wife, who's working hard, slaving over making that food, that she isn't doing this other arbitrary stuff that you don't even notice, and you're getting mad and you're yelling at her for it. Everybody in the fucking world would be like, you're an abusive piece of shit.
Maybe.
So I'm going to hold up to the whole standard and be like, you're a stupid, abusive piece of shit.
I don't know about abusive, but...
That is abuse. You're yelling at someone because they fucking did something that you didn't notice because you're a fucking... Oh, shit, I can't say that. Like, you are going to be such an asshole about this.
It's so funny to me that she wanted the essence of a tomato and had no idea he didn't rinse it off. Because I would think you would notice that if you put it on and rinse it off. If you want your
food in some weird way, then fucking make it yourself.
I imagine it tastes like dishwater. Like if you rinse off noodles. That sounds so gross.
Why would you rinse it off? What is wrong with you?
Why not? If you like it without, then why is this an issue?
Why did you rinse it off?
It is a little weird that he was lying about it.
No, it isn't.
Like, maybe the first time, be like, oh, I didn't actually add any.
Imagine you have to live with this person.
But
listen, they rinse off their noodles. They rinse off the pasta sauce on their noodles. Imagine
but he's been doing this for months.
But years.
Was it years?
It was their pandemic thing.
Yeah, but how long ago was this? I don't know.
What's the date? It
says 2 years ago, but doesn't say when this was actually put. I don't know.
Anyways. What's this last week? So I'm assuming it's current. But imagine living with this person.
I know.
If they get upset over this.
But I think he probably knew what he was getting himself into before.
Okay, I'm not blaming her for being her. I'm saying imagine living with this person, what you have to do to survive.
You want to let me fucking...
If you're logged in, it shows your course.
I know.
Fuck you. Stop. No. Stop. You can't do that. No, microphone privileges are taken away. You don't have them.
We don't even having technical difficulties. We had school difficulties. We had a rough time. You need to get in the frame, dude. I can't. This is not a solo podcast.
Yeah, it is. Basically, in spirit.
I'm the solo podcaster?
Yeah, you're the whole show.
Yeah, I'm the total package.
Is this a discount Aquaphor?
It's Vaseline. So we were talking about just put your mind back in that pasta sauce situation.
She seems like a headache.
So, edit. My boyfriend found this post and is not happy. I'm debating pouring the sauce directly down the drain to spite him. Huh? Where do you jump to conclude? I'm debating pouring the sauce down the drain to spite him. Why are you mad? I thought he was... Okay.
She's mad that he's mad.
Edit number 2. So a lot has happened... Edit number 2. So a lot has happened since this morning. Y'all may be happy to hear we broke up.
Oh, thank God.
We had a huge blow-up fight since he found the post, which led to me breaking up with him. He did not like being called a predator. What?
Who called him a predator?
That escalated very quickly.
He's so based. It's crazy.
A predator. And I started to think y'all had a point about that. So I ended up breaking up with him. He attempted to plead with me a bit. My parents pay our rent, so he can't afford the place without me, but I wouldn't budge.
I hate everybody.
Now some things I found out in the argument. First, he's not a pharmacist like he always told me.
Oh my God.
It's Legion.
He had a Legion story.
This is Legion's first girlfriend.
Bro, Honestly, this would make me like Legion even more. I would like him so much more.
Holy shit. Wait, where did we even... I don't remember her even mentioning he was a pharmacist ever.
She didn't. She just kind of introduced that information.
He just works at CVS. Second, he's actually cheated on me multiple times with other girls that go to my college. And lastly, and worst of all, he's never actually been allergic to dogs and just doesn't like them. I don't remember that tidbit.
I don't really.
Does she get rid of a dog?
Somehow, out of all of this, I still find the most audacious.
The predator. Because she's a 20-year-old college student and he's 26. Which is not that weird. I'm 20 as a 21-year-old.
Stretch.
I think if you're like 18 with a 26, that's like cause for concern.
26?
Yeah. 18. Would you date a 26-year-old woman right now? Out of college, older than Sam. Think about it.
No. But
exactly.
20? In 26?
No, I said that's why I said 18 would be problematic. Yeah. 20.
Yeah.
26 is
but even
old,
18,
but
like if you want to make the decision, you can make the decision.
A 6-year age gap isn't crazy. At that age, because I feel like 20, 26 isn't that. I mean, maybe if you're in college, I don't know. I think it could work.
Out of all of this information, the most shocking and the most kind of disturbing part about this story is still the pasta sauce. She rinses off her pasta. We're not going to forget about that. She rinses off the noodles in her pasta.
You want to hear the top comment?
What?
What is the ESH? Everyone sucks here. I think that's what that stands for. You both sound dreadful, to be honest. The idea that putting pasta sauce on noodles and rinsing it off would have an essence of tomato flavor is objectively ridiculous. And more importantly, a really shockingly disgusting waste of pasta sauce.
Yeah.
What your dad did was basically teach you to waste food whilst planting the idea in your head that you're tasting something that was all in your imagination. You can be pissed at your boyfriend, but the fact that you didn't notice the difference is all that...
And it would
and
make
all
it
this time
cold.
is indisputable evidence.
It would make it cold and like soggy. Like it would remove a lot of like the starch from like the pasta water, so it would be very disgusting.
Okay, we have to hurry through this though. Okay, you can be pissed at your boyfriend, but the fact that you didn't notice the difference in all this time is indisputable evidence that he was right. You weren't tasting an essence of anything to begin with. It was a placebo effect. You feel betrayed, but honestly, you should be more embarrassed that you were asking for someone to consistently waste sauce or putting it on your noodles and then washing it off again. First of all, there's no rational way that you could have tasted it after that. Secondly, people, including myself, literally struggle to make sure that they can afford to put food on the table, and you're bloody well pouring it out the jar and then washing it down the sink on purpose. Be embarrassed. Your boyfriend is an asshole for not refusing to waste the pasta sauce on you. Honestly, good for him. Oh, wait.
Isn't an asshole.
Your boyfriend is an asshole, not for refusing to waste the pasta sauce on you. Honestly, good for him. But for being a dick about it and mocking you. He sounds really nasty human being. And I can't speak for you, but I wouldn't date someone who spoke to me that way.
No, hold up. I disagree. The way he responded is the way that every normal human would respond in that situation. Why are we all act like walking on eggshells, pretending like this is like a big deal?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's pasta sauce. He's laughing at your face because you're being ridiculous. Don't be ridiculous.
Maybe there was.
I
feel like there's something we're missing a little bit.
Yeah, is there a whole nother article that we're missing?
He should have just pointed out the complete wastefulness of what you wanted from the outset. Though I suspect that you wouldn't have listened, honestly, if you actually believed washed pasta noodles still retain an essence of sauce.
That's probably why he didn't say anything.
I'm going to believe you. I'm going to guess you believe in homeopathy as well.
If I were to make a dish and it like had Parmesan in it normally and I didn't have any Parmesan and someone said, "Oh, I really taste the nice subdued flavors of the Parmesan," and I laughed in their face because for the last 6 years I haven't put a single flake of Parmesan in it.
That would be weird and creepy though.
If I laughed and I was just like
why lie?
What if I was just laughing? I was just like, "Oh, you taste the Parmesan?"
That's weird and creepy and twisty, though. That's weird.
It isn't. I would be like,
but why?
Babes, I haven't put Parmesan on this shit
that's
in years.
That's so weird, though. You're like plotting like this random joke against them.
But it's not plotting. It's just like, I don't feel like having this argument. I don't feel like having this headache.
But if they wanted Parmesan and you just weren't putting it, that's weird.
If they wanted me to strain the pasta and spray it off.
No. But now you're adding. I'm saying your new scenario is weird. they want the Parmesan and they taste the Parmesan. They think they taste the Parmesan, but you never put it there. That's weird.
Just because if they're like, I really like it tastes so much like Parmesan and there's no
That's
Parmesan.
weird. That is creepy. Don't do that to someone. That's weird.
Why? That's funny.
Because you're just lying about something for no reason.
I'm not lying about it for no reason.
You're legioning. You're storytelling some bullshit
if I never
lie.
told you that I was doing that, but you assumed it because one time you like we made it
and
together.
chances are in the sauce is probably
because
Parmesan.
they know the recipe.
Okay. Anyway.
No, my point is, if they know the recipe and they know there's Parmesan in it, and they started glazing it by saying how much they love the Parmesan and they could taste it tastes so fresh.
What's the odds that
I
the
would laugh
dad's
in their
essence
face.
of tomato sauce was also in fact plain of pasta?
Yeah, probably pretty high. But I mean, they're sending their kid to college and they're paying for their apartment for their 26-year-old boyfriend. I'm assuming that they probably would waste some pasta sauce.
Like as a toddler, I can see like you make this pasta for your kids, and then the one's like ew, 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 so you just rinse it off and hand it to them. Like that makes sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
But I wouldn't then the next time be like, I'm gonna keep doing that. Just be like, now you just get the plain one because I know you don't like
also
the sauce.
just eat the pasta sauce.
No, but if your kid like doesn't like tomatoes, whatever, and you give them, you would not just continue to rinse it. You just give them their own plain noodles.
You're
or
correct.
And if you want to
take it out
appease
in the
them,
beginning.
put a drop of it and mix it and go. See, there's an essence.
Yeah.
One drop.
Yeah.
If you really want to appease them,
like,
why rinse it? That makes
like,
no sense.
Make a slightly different type of sauce that doesn't have the tomato sauce.
I have a similar story actually. Grandma did this to me once.
What?
One time she made pasta and poured meat into the pasta and forgot that I don't eat meat, and then poured it into the strainer and rinsed off the meat.
Oh.
And thought I wouldn't know, but then there's meat in it.
Oh. Because the meat wouldn't have gone through the strainer because it's probably a little bit too big.
I don't know how she thought that was working, but it didn't really go anywhere.
Didn't see?
There was like flakes of it all in it, so I definitely knew that there was. I think she like separated
Did you eat it though?
Some of it, and then I was like, this is just grossing me out.
Some meat.
This was recently too, but I was so hungry after work. It was after like I worked like a long shift, and I came home, I was like, give me food. And I went to her house, and like I think like one of her daughters was there. I don't know.
Okay.
Anyway,
Oh, that was like the. Oh, I'm not gonna talk about that.
Boyfriend asks dad about this method. Dad says banish her from the kitchen while you're cooking, so she'll never see that she's just eating plain noodles. I think it was all a hoax. Maybe.
I just don't think that's so bad.
No, I don't think it's bad either. But I think it's a little weird to like, why not just tell them the first time you did it, like you didn't notice?
Because it wouldn't have mattered. She would have forced them to waste pasta sauce.
Well, then I'd be like, let's maybe not make spaghetti anymore.
But then she would have freed. So again, you have to remember.
Then break up. Why are you with this person?
She's getting free rent.
Okay. My argumentative ass, what I would have done. I would have said, you didn't notice. And be like, yeah, I did. I would have noticed. I just didn't realize. I go, okay, we're blindfold taste testing.
So there's no rationale behind this.
I think that you could get them to come around. Gentle parent.
You don't understand these individuals. I've met people like this before.
I have to.
No, I mean, I've met people like this before.
I've met people like this before.
Some people in this room I've met like this before.
I've never done this.
No, I'm joking. But
I know I really would have like put a blindfold on. I'm gonna make one that I rinse and one that I just give to you.
They wouldn't entertain it. They'd be like, "No, I don't want to try it."
No, they're not against it. No,
I hate dishwater.
No.
I don't know what the excuse.
See, there wouldn't be an excuse. They'd be like, "It's gonna not taste the same," but it would.
They would be like, "I'm not gonna do this. You're insulting me."
No.
Bye. You're insulting me.
Then I don't want free rent anymore. I'm leaving.
No, I still want the.
But then why tell her 2 years later, whatever? I don't see the point of that.
I think he thought that she was slightly less crazy, and I think she thought
he thought it would be funny.
Yeah, that she would just feel like,
to me,
I was being ridiculous.
Well, at least why have you lied this whole
time?
Why
would you care though? If someone did that to me, and I'm like,
the lying would kind of get me.
For some reason, I just had like a weird way of doing something like eating, and someone just like did it. Like imagine if it was like cereal, like someone made you cereal, and they poured the milk first. Okay, and then you, out of spite, make them cereal. And they're like, make sure to put the milk first. And you're like, I will, don't worry. And you don't, because you're a normal, sane person. You put the cereal in, then put the milk. And then you give it to them, and they're like, see, I love the way that adding the cereal in afterwards mixes it better.
No.
And then you just start laughing at them, and you're like, you're ridiculous.
But for years, that's the part that would get me. If it was like the first time when you're like, oh shit, you're probably right.
I think it was probably one of the things where he's like, okay, I'm not going to do it the way she always wants me to do it. I'm just going to not do it. And then she just didn't notice. And he's like, every 6 months when they make pasta or like spaghetti or whatever, then they just fucking did that.
It sounds like it's happening a lot, and I'd be like, why did you wait 2 years to tell me then?
Because you would have been crazy about it, because you would have been annoying, and I didn't want to deal with
issue,
it.
but I would
And
feel
I want
little
the free
something.
rent, and
There
for
would be
6
something
years,
that would kind of bother
for
me.
6 years, I got free rent. Wait, was it 6 years?
No, probably 2. I mean 4.
For 4?
I think 2 years ago is 2022, and they said since
She's
COVID,
20.
so I think it'll be 2 years.
She's 20, so probably 2 years.
It's about the
20?
years.
19, 18. She's 20 and she's in college.
I'm saying that it's 2024 now.
It could have been more than 2 years.
They started dating in 2020, and the post was written 2 years ago.
So it
in
has to be 2
2022.
years.
So I think they were together for 2 years at the house.
It has to be, because she's 20 and she's
2020
in college.
to 2022.
That's how I'm doing my head. Because she's
That's
20
weird.
and she's in college. So it's 2 years.
No.
18, 19, 20.
Oh, I'm starting to see their point about being a predator.
Yeah.
That means they got together when she was freshly 18.
Well, he was like 24.
Okay, I'm sorry. It didn't click, it didn't stick, but now it's starting to.
Maybe a little bit.
That's a little weird.
But he was probably in her college too. They were probably
It
going
doesn't
to school
sound like
together.
he was pretending to be a pharmacist at CVS. That's also maybe that it could be predatory because he acted like he was at his big boy job.
He was getting free rent.
Yeah.
I stand him for getting free rent.
No, he's creepy. I'm on her side. Not on her side about the pasta. Not about the pasta.
No.
But in general, I'm on her side.
No, you're not. You can.
They're both weird.
They're both evil people.
Yes, but I think
hate
he's
them both.
creepy. She's just like annoying.
He did nothing wrong, but he's also a predator, so that's why we don't like
So he
him.
did do something wrong. Okay,
Yeah.
let's move on because we have like no time. I'm gonna finish. We're gonna do one more story. Am I the asshole for removing the bedroom lock after my husband ignored a family emergency? Probably not the asshole.
Probably not the asshole.
Background about my husband. He stays up late at night and has to wake up early for work. So when he gets home at 5, he has to get his 2-hour nap so he could do. This is you.
This is literally me. This is literally my life. Like, I always take a nap because I get no sleep.
Oh, no, this is not you. He gets home at 5 and has to take a 2-hour nap so he can both make up for the lack of sleep and also be ready to stay up late to play with his console. He's just a deadbeat. He's coming home, sleeping for 2 hours just so he can play games at night when everyone else is asleep. He just doesn't want to be around his kids, is what that's telling me. Because why would you not logically play games earlier and then just sleep? Why sleep first, then games?
You don't understand.
You need the 3 a.m. gamer?
Yeah, he's playing. He got a squad going on.
Yeah.
He's doing ranked matches at 3 a.m.
Okay, let's keep going. He values his sleep and has one rule in the house that he enforces strictly, which is not to be interrupted while he's sleeping. He literally puts a sign on the bedroom door saying, "Do not wake me up," all caps with a period in between each word. Under any circumstances, just no, unless someone's hurt or dead, though. In this case, he said he still wouldn't be much of help anyway. The kids and I would sometimes wake him up for serious reasons. He got mad and started locking the door. I get no access to the room for 2 hours, but that's not the main problem. This past Tuesday, my 3-year-old son had a hot oil spill on his hand while his 14-year-old sister was cooking. I heard him scream and saw the oil was covering his hand half up to his arm. I brought the first aid kit, but he was in so much pain and his skin looked really bad. I rushed to wake up my husband and kept knocking, but I got no response. So I tried to open it, but it was locked. I spent a while between knocking on the door, he had his phone turned off, and getting dressed after my daughter asked the neighbor to drive us to the hospital.
Oh, he had the keys?
She does not have the keys.
Oh.
Or does she not drive, which maybe is a bigger concern. Oh my god.
He's...
Literally.
Wait. I have a solution to their little predicament. Simply crack out the old pack of Camels, the old cigs, the old darts, take them out, light a little puff, blow into the smoke detector, and then boom, he's awake. Boom.
But that would take so long to find cigarettes, do this while your kid's burning, his arm's burning. Like, you're not thinking of that.
You could also just hold down the button.
Okay. The neighbor took us to the hospital, and I couldn't help but feel livid the whole time. We got home, my husband was pacing around asking where we were, and why I didn't answer his texts. I blew up on him after I showed him our son's injury, and told him that I pounded on the door to wake him up, but he had his earbuds on and didn't hear a thing. I called him reckless and neglectful for ignoring ignoring a family emergency. He said I could say the same thing about myself for leaving our son unsupervised and causing him to get burned.
Okay, he's not completely wrong. I mean, he's like
Maybe,
3.
but yeah,
Oil?
but the 14-year-old was the one cooking, so like they're old enough to not spill it on them.
Yeah,
It was
but
probably just an
you're gonna
accident,
trust your
which could have happened.
14-year-old around a vat of oil
But
with your
they're probably
3-year-old
just like
son?
cooking something and it accidentally not knocked over. Because like
It went all the way up to his arm.
yeah, but think about like maybe the pan just flipped over and got on him because if you're in the room, you're not doing much if that happens.
Flipped over?
But I'm saying if you're standing there and something falls and it's hitting them, like you're not gonna be able to do anything
Your
immediately
kid
anyway.
is frying stuff with
I
your
don't know.
3-year-old
We don't
son.
know they were cooking. Okay, let's keep going.
That's crazy.
I stopped arguing and went to remove the bedroom door locked. He started yelling at me and said I had no right. I refused to respond. I walked off to calm down. He didn't stop complaining, calling me bossy and saying that by removing the lock, I've destroyed his peace and quiet and caused him sleep deprivation. He is insisting that I put it back, but I refused. I could be wrong for what I've done, but I was frustrated and mad. Am I the asshole?
Simply take his console.
Yeah. It burned the console.
No, don't damage
and send
it.
him to like
Just say hey.
therapy.
Just say hey. House rule. If you want to play this in our house, then you have to be more time management.
Weekends only, I would
Weekends
say.
only, or just like don't be a dick about it. Just like stop playing if needed. Like you're a parent and an adult, grow the fuck up. But also, until then, if you want to have the console, you can, but you can't play it here. And if you want to, then leave. Bye. That's what I would say.
I want to hear about more about
Because he's an adult, he can make his own decisions. If he wants to take it, it's his property. He can take it, but not in the house.
What does this mean? Oh, YouTube. Someone said,
I would love to see a divorce court episode on this. By the way, that'd be really entertaining.
"Not the asshole, but you're married to one."
Yeah.
It's terribly convenient that he values his sleep and gets to go home.
Such a piece of shit.
Not lift a finger while you do everything. Then he wakes up, gets on his console, and plays games until late into the night. Like, what is he even there for?
Shit.
Honestly, I don't know what it is anymore. He seems to be jumping from one addiction to another. First it was YouTube, now video games. I thought she meant drugs, but I guess not.
YouTube?
I mean, yes, he's working long hours, but in my opinion, he's become too obsessed with the gaming thing.
This guy is a walking W. Holy shit. He's such a Sigma. Bro says, why the fuck did you wake me up after his kid got a 3rd-degree burn on his arm? Holy shit.
She doesn't have access to the console? Oh my god, okay. Someone said, oh my word, all kinds of not the asshole. If you have any technical experience, I can show you how to disable his console so it looks like it's working, but it won't. The craziness. But then she said, I don't have access to his console because he hid it after we had a fight over him leaving the dogs out the entire night while playing video games. This was in December in cold weather. Now he keeps it locked in a storage box and carries the keys on his keychain along with his car key.
Also,
his car key.
What we have to...
His car key.
Okay, that's a little bit weird.
They must have one car and he takes it to work so she never has access
Maybe
to
she just
it.
doesn't drive. Like in general.
Yeah.
I hate people like that.
But he left the dogs out in a cold December winter all night because he wanted to play games. Asshole.
Get rid of the internet, man. No electricity. We're homesteading now.
Homesteading. You have to work outside.
Yeah, get in the fields,
until
bitch.
5 a.m.
Get in the fields, bitch.
Be a man, bitch. Man up.
Yeah. Cut our yard with this, like, pushing cutter thing. You know those things with, like, the old lawnmowers?
Yeah.
It, like, jams up. Yeah, give him one of those and be like, hey, buddy, got 10 acres to cut. Got all night. Has to be done tomorrow morning. If not, you're out. Is that the final story for today?
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. We had a great episode today.
We did.
Oh.
I'm terrible at reading. I apologize. I'm going to try to get better at this. Or maybe we'll just never do this again. Leave some hate comments. Let us know how much you hated it. I hated it. I'm sure we all hated it.
I also think what we should do in this episode, a little experimental, is to break it up and then re-upload all of the pieces alongside it.
Into their own video?
And just title them each Am I the Asshole?
After the full one?
Yeah.
Sure. Whatever you want. Okay, well, thanks for listening to our Reddit stories. Those were some wild rides for sure.
It was bombastic. It was crazy. It was amazing.
Sorry, I'm bad at reading. If you have any Reddit stories that you want us to react to, drop them in the comments. Give us a title. Give us a link. We will read them.
Also, guys, leave likes, leave dislikes.
Leave hate comments.
Yeah, send us hate. Send us hate mail. Send us death threats. Bomb threats. SWAT our home.
Don't. Twitter will take that seriously. No. But leave us some hate comments. Tell us what you hate about this podcast. Tell us what you love about this podcast. Give us something to work with here. We got nothing to work with.
We're running out of time. We both have shit due tonight for our homework. So I think we're going to leave
in 30
minutes.
Soon.
I think we're going to leave pretty soon.
Have a good night. Enjoy your Reddit stories.
Don't tell them to have a good night. Not only is this not going to go out at night, but
no one watches these things during the day.
No one watches these things at all. But no, don't have a good day. I don't know you. I don't care about you. We're not here to build a parasocial relationship. I don't know who the hell you are. Okay, you click on our videos occasionally, maybe, possibly. But you probably won't click on our videos. So I don't really care. I am better than you. I am better than you. People say I'm not better than you. I am better than you. What the fuck is this? New intro. That's like an annoying ass alarm
scream,
clock.
I scream, we all scream for
ice cream.
Give my regards to Broadway.
Is this a Webkin song?
It's time for the Underlings podcast. I hope you are feeling strong and beautiful and kind.
Hi guys, welcome back to the Underlings podcast.
Can't turn it off. Holanta.